I'm Dr. Siddhi Advani. I'm from Mumbai, and I am excited to be here at ZuGrama. I've heard that there's this gut microbiome experiment that's happening, and as a scientist, I'm excited to participate in that. So my background is in molecular and cellular biology, and in my recent research, I worked on the skin microbiome. So knowing what I know about the skin microbiome, I am really excited to be a part of this gut microbiome experiment because the two affect each other a lot. And so if there's an imbalance in the gut microbiome, it can result in diseases in the skin. And so what has actually been found is that people who have autoimmune skin conditions like atopic dermatitis or hidradenitis suppurativa or psoriasis, these individuals also end up having an imbalanced gut microbiome. And so the skin, which acts as our first defense, is that sort of renewal of the skin and maintenance of the skin is affected by inflammation. And one of the primary sources of inflammation that's found is found in our gut. If our diet is very pro-inflammatory, if we're not taking the necessary nutrients, if we are not having enough omega-3s, if we have too many omega-6 fatty acids, or if we're consuming a diet that's high in processed foods and sugars. So in those situations, what happens is that we end up having a lot of inflammation in the gut, and that also ends up affecting the skin. So, being able to sort of see this both appreciated both as a scientist and as a volunteer in the study is something that, has me very excited. So you might have heard that, for people who have acne, very often the advice that's given is that, don't eat dairy and don't eat sugars and don't eat pickles. And, there's a laundry list of advice. But not all of that is true for everybody all the time, right? There are some people who are more prone to inflammation. Their gut lining tends to be more damaged. For those individuals, the diet is extremely important in helping them maintain clear skin. So in such cases, what I see people doing is that they will cut out dairy, they will cut out sugar, they will try to eat foods with more fiber, they will try to supplement with probiotics like gut probiotics, and they see an improvement in the skin. What I found to be really interesting in the ZuBiome experiment that's happening here is that, it's accommodating, it's allowing people to volunteer, right? We are volunteering this, gut microbiome sample at 2 different time points. I've signed up to participate for the entire 3 weeks. There are some people who wanted to participate. They've signed up for 2 weeks. And so the fact that, we're getting to be a part of this experiment, even though, there are people who are leaving at 2 weeks, there's some people who are around for 3 weeks, that this experiment is unique because it's allowing for there to be some flexibility in the experiment design, yet the researchers are able to gather a lot of information from the samples that have been given. In fact, one of the things that I found to be really cool is that most citizen science experiments, they typically use this technique called 16S rRNA sequencing. So that technique samples a very small portion of the bacterial genome, and that technique only captures the information from the bacteria in the gut. It does not capture information from fungi or viruses. But the technique that's being used for this gut microbiome study is called whole metagenome sequencing. So not only do we get the same benefits as the 16S rRNA, rRNA technique, but we also get more information on the function and the on the functional analysis of these, like of the gut microbiome, like what genes are present, what foods can be broken down. So that information isn't always available when you're using different techniques. When you're using this whole metagenome sequencing technique, like you're able to capture a lot more information. So yeah, that's something I find really cool about it. And if this captures a whole lot of information, I will consider using it for skin microbiome experiments that I have planned in the future. One of the things that I found is that, we have no objective way of telling if our skincare is working, like no objective way of telling at home that our skincare is working or not. We're just looking at our face, we're taking selfies, right? So I'm trying to build something that is going to help people discover, like help people objectively answer that question. And what's also important is that, say you're trying to take control of your health. It isn't enough just to focus on what you're putting on your skin. It's also important to focus on what you're putting inside your body so that you can improve your skin health both from the outside in and the inside out.